Hey there and welcome to Matt's Garage and Car Reviews with Matt. Today I'm going to be reviewing this 2013 Kia Soul 4U. Not for you, well yeah for you, but it's a 4U model. Well, you'll get it when we walk around the back of the car. But the question is a Soul 4U? We're just going to hit a harsh bump here in a minute to give you an idea on ride quality. So actually that bump's not as bad as it was last time I hit it. In the winter time it gets taller. We'll hit it a little faster on the way out. This is a nice twisty road. So this is the one real sore point for me with the Kia Soul actually, is the handling is not very good. You'd expect it to be a lot more zippy for the size of vehicle, and actually this is my parents' vehicle, and my parents have owned several Chrysler PT Cruisers. They just love them, and they bought this vehicle because it was a similar concept and a newer vehicle. They quit making the PT Cruisers in 2010, so they got this a bit newer, and they're not impressed. They're actually going to be reselling it, and that's one of the reasons. It's just not near as zippy as the PT Cruiser. Doesn't handle near as good. The steering's really, it's got the electronic assist steering on it, and it's just got no real center to it. It's very vague and doesn't give a nice feedback. The turning radius is really good, so that's one thing it does have going for it, and you'd expect that with the size of vehicle. That's one issue actually with the PT Cruiser, so I'm kind of going to do this whole video where I compare it to a PT Cruiser, because I know a lot of the owners of PT Cruisers have switched to Souls or also own Souls. So it's the same sort of vehicle. It is quite a bit smaller than a PT Cruiser. It doesn't really look like it would be, but it is. It has a lot less cargo capacity than one, and stuff like that. One thing it does have going for it is all the modern gadgetry. It's got the backup camera in here, and a really pretty banging audio system for what this car is. And all the controls on this car are really good. I love the cruise setup, and it works really good. It's a well-featured car for the class it's in. It's got heated seats and all that kind of stuff, a sunroof, everything like that. And as you can probably hear, it doesn't really have any rattles, and actually the interior sound levels are pretty decent as you're driving along here. It does ride pretty harsh in my opinion. A lot of cars in this class I guess do. We're going to hit the bump again, just face forward there with the camera. So I'm going to hit the bump at 30 mile an hour, 50 kilometers an hour. So you can hear the car feels and sounds nice and solid over the bump. That's not an issue. It's just if you were looking for a vehicle with softer ride quality, this isn't it. The seat is actually nice and comfortable, so if you don't mind a bit of a harsh ride and really feeling a lot of feedback on your drive, you might actually like that, because there's certainly no issue with seat quality or anything. We're just going to pull out here and do a 0 to 60 test. I have it in normal mode, not eco. So here we go, straight to the floor. And there's 60. So you know, the power's adequate. That's how I'd describe it. It's not a fast car, but it'll keep up with traffic. It is fairly labored. It always revs fairly high. Like, see, it really kicks down when that's just, you know, 3/4 pedal there, as if you were passing somebody, and it pretty well goes right to red line. And that brings me to another sore point. Because the vehicle revs this high and labors this much, like it's really not a torquey engine, it really needs to rev to do anything, and for that reason you get really poor fuel economy for what this vehicle is. Like really poor. Like if you're coming from a PT Cruiser even, which they're not great, you're going to be shocked. This gets, you know, around 21 to 23 miles per gallon, believe it or not. It normally reads about 9.6 liters per 100 kilometers on mixed driving for how my parents use it. And just to give you an idea of how poor that is, they actually replaced it with a 2016 Dodge Caravan with a 3.6 liter V6 in it, and it's doing much better. It's getting like 9 liters per 100 kilometers for their mixed driving, and doing a lot better on highway trips. So that's the problem with this car. And even around the city, you'd think maybe because it's an economy car it would be more set up for city driving, but I haven't experienced very good results driving in the city either. It's just the fuel economy is pretty dismal. Now, I have heard that this was an issue with a couple model years of the Soul, and that the newer ones got a lot better for fuel economy. So that's something to consider if you were looking at this video, and you don't write off all Souls. But if fuel economy was a big issue for you, I wouldn't recommend this year of Soul for sure. Beyond that, like this is a 2-liter version. I believe these came with the 1.6 as well, and it's got the 6-speed automatic transmission, which I will say shifts silky smooth, and I can't find any fault with the transmission whatsoever. It's actually a lovely transmission. So yeah, it's not all bad, and you have to keep in mind the cost of the vehicle you're dealing with here. It is the entry-level kind of vehicle for this kind of a SUV sort of a vehicle. Even though I would say it's more of a car, it's based on the Kia Forte, I believe, or the Hyundai Elantra. But I am a little disappointed in the ride quality, because I've actually owned a 2009 Hyundai Accent that I owned right from new, and I found that car rode and handled better than this. Now this is a higher center of gravity vehicle, so that could explain the handling, but you'd expect a little cushier ride quality, I would say. This would be a great vehicle though for a single person, a student, anything like that. And it's a very cute little car. You see a lot of young girls driving them and stuff, and they're not sort of a car like the little VW Beetles and the little Mini Coopers and stuff. They're sort of that kind of a cute car. And I mean, if you like them, you like them. They are cute. It's not really a vehicle I'm going to recommend to you. And another reason for that is because Kia has suffered from a lot of engine issues, and the particular engine in this Soul suffers from those same issues where it might fail prematurely. So if you're shopping for one of these, try to get a really good deal on it, and make it worth possibly spending a lot on future repairs. It's definitely a quirky little beast, but I'll show you another one of the drawbacks in here is it just doesn't have very much cargo capacity. And another thing is, it bothers me how little car you have behind the seats, basically. So you just think if you were hit in the back by a big truck or something, your rear seat occupants might not fare so well. For a single person, these seats, you know, they flip down nicely like that, and you actually have a pretty decent cargo area. So if you don't need the back seat of this car, it could be an ideal vehicle for you, aside from the fact that, like I say, it doesn't get the best fuel economy for the size of it. So you kind of have to love the look of it to really want to own one, I think. Okay, and then on the inside here, we've got a hedgehog. I thought these cars were hamster cars. One area where the Soul really wins out here is actually on the interior space. The controls in here are just great. It has an excellent reverse cam. Actually, I don't normally like reverse cameras, but this one actually works really good. You can see my son standing there, and it has the segmented lines there, and it's actually really easy to use. I love having dials for your heat and your fan, and then it's got this quick selector for everything else, so that's really easy to use. The shifter's really nice and easy to use. It's got nice cup holders and storage bins everywhere. Your little USB and your aux down there. A nice generous size glove box. It's got a light in there and everything. Those are not lit. Oh yeah, they are. You have a light right above it, and so it's a nicely featured vehicle for what it is in that sense. One other thing I'll say about the interior is I really don't notice a lot of creaks and rattles, even driving on rough surfaces, and even with as rough as this vehicle rides, it's actually got a solid feel to it, and not a lot of creaking and rattling at all. Of course, everything's kind of plastic in here. They did put these nice cloth inserts in the door that kind of makes it a little more upscale, and it has a nice leather boot around the shifter, but overall you do have a lot of that hard plastic stuff in here. But it's what you expect in a vehicle like this, and I think it's still a nice design, and it's not a bad place to spend time. So here under the hood, one thing I like is it's got a lot of space around the engine, and a very simple accessory job because it doesn't have a power steering pump with the electric assist power steering. Thanks a lot for watching Matt's Garage and Car Reviews with Matt. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have yourself a great day.